Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm probably back a little bit earlier than you would have expected, and the reason for that is because these videos are so easy to make that if I have something to talk about, you can expect a video relatively quickly. So that's a W, I guess. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about today is GDQ. For those of you that don't know, GDQ stands for Games Done Quick, which is an organization that has two main events every year. SGDQ for Summer Games Done Quick, and AGDQ for Awesome Games Done Quick. These are week-long marathon live streams in which speedrunners show off their skills to raise money for charity. The first GDQ was held back in 2010, and since then the organization has grown massively. As the events gained more traction and popularity, a lot more people started to tune in every single event. The money they raise all comes from donations and sponsorship deals. So, to make the event more engaging, GDQ came up with a clever way to get those donations rolling even more. They came up with donation incentives. Not only would you be donating to charity, but you were also actively contributing to what's happening on screen. This all started off relatively small. People could donate towards the nickname of a Pokemon or a character name or a file name or something like that. On the other hand, we had bid wars going on. People could donate towards a runner doing something in a run. Probably one of the best known examples of this is killing or saving the animals in Super Metroid. Killing the animals is faster in a speedrun, but would be considered cruel. While on the other hand, saving the animals loses a bit of time. This shaped a great narrative for one of the best known bid wars in the history of GDQ. Where the first event made $10,532, it is only a shadow of what is today's standard. The current record for a single GDQ event tops over $3.4 million. The most recent event, Summer Games Done Quick 2022, ended on July 3rd and made a little over $3 million. So you can see that in 12 years we've come a pretty long way with this event. Now, for me personally, the appeal of these runs is that it's a marathon run, meaning that it's not necessarily about setting the world record and more about showcasing what this game has to offer. This means that a runner often has a couch to back them up and do a commentary for them, explain little niche tricks, explain little gameplay mechanics, so you really get a way better understanding of what you're looking at. And that is what keeps you engaged. They always upload a schedule, what is going to be showcased when, and it's just good old fun, and that can really last you the whole week. But as the event got bigger and more money was raised every single time, of course we wanted to push it a little bit further. And such GDQ implemented the bonus games. These games would only be played if a certain amount of money was made for these incentives. This would expand the marathon ever so slightly depending on what game it was that was on showcase. From a marketing perspective, this of course is brilliant because you play fully on fear of missing out. What if this run is amazing and we don't get it? Come on chat, let's push. Now, there's a full list of incentives that have never been met, but only a few of them are actually bonus games. And so I was ever so slightly surprised when I saw this.
Nice, all right. Right at the end.
Twitch chat, you have about a minute and a half to get $100,000. You can do it.
All right. Well, my guess is the incentive is not going to be met. So, I guess I will just do the sign off now so that we can get on with the schedule. Driftloon.
Thank you so much again for that absolutely fantastic run. Unfortunately, we did not quite make it to the incentive, but did you realize, everyone, we raised over $100,000 during that run alone. That is so much money that is supporting Doctors Without Borders.
The Pokemon any percent BDSP incentive was not met. Now, this was a milestone incentive, which means they wanted to make approximately 1.5 million at this point in the marathon for this game to be run. And I want to tell you right now that I'm gonna make a comparison later that is not entirely fair, but I want you to know that I refer to this point, and that it's important to know that at this point in the marathon, they needed $100,000 more for this game to be run. With that out of the way, let's go to my personal favorite moment of this marathon, which was the Ocarina of Time Beta Showcase. The Beta Showcase was also a donation incentive, and the goal of this incentive was to make over $225,000. And they got that incentive pretty easily. They got it a couple of hours ahead of when the incentive was due. They did it on a Saturday, which means there were a lot more people free and watching and able to donate. So that one was pretty easy, I would say. And I'll tell you a little bit about the run because I'm a complete nerd and I fucking love this one. So buckle up for that one, but I promise that this story goes somewhere, so keep tight. Hold on, please. The beta showcase was a hybrid run between a test bot and a professional speedrunner. If you know anything about Ocarina of Time speedrunning, you probably have seen at one point Link just doing a bunch of seemingly random bullshit and then teleporting to the end credits. Long story short, this glitch allows you to edit the code that is run within the game. And with the help of testbot, they are able to get out a bunch of beta content and some very interesting other stuff. Now, I just don't want to say more than that. I think this one was so amazing, you have to see it for yourself. It's online now, it's called Triforce%, and just look it up. It's amazing, I promise. But okay, what is just as amazing as the run itself is the story of how the run was actually showcased. swankyBox made an incredible video about this and I'll link it in the description, but he basically tells us a 3-year-long story of how they got this game to be shown at a GDQ. And that seemed kinda odd. Because you have this amazing run, they have contact with the organization, everyone agrees like, hey, we have to show this in person, it adds to the experience and it adds to people understanding that this is a legit cartridge, we don't do any modding from the outside, etc. And yet, they made this a donation incentive. Meaning that, theoretically, there was a reasonable chance that we would have never seen this. Because that's what happened to the BDSP Any% run earlier. At the start of that 4-hour BDSP run, they needed $200,000 for that incentive to be met. And they didn't meet it with a $100,000 deficit. And you saw the clip of Etiquette, he was visually disappointed that we didn't make that run. So I can only imagine the disappointment from everyone involved with this incredible project if it had happened to turn out that we didn't make that incentive. How can you make a run that has so much depending on it, so much preparation time, make an incentive with the risk of not showcasing it? And I was struggling with this thought for a little while, seriously. I could not believe that they put something like this on the line. Because what would they have done if they didn't make it? And literally, as I ask myself that question out loud behind my computer screen, GDQ answers my question. Because the end of the marathon was near, and the Super Mario 64 120 star incentive was just met, and all of a sudden, we got a bonus incentive, which was our BDSP Any% run. And they, one-on-one, completely repeated the scenario that we have seen a couple days before. $200K for that game to be shown. And with no other incentives left, we made it. However, I can't help but feel like this singular incentive now is worth $300,000. 100K earned in the first half, and then 200K earned in the final hours of the marathon. And that felt a bit scummy to me, because that same amount, 300K, was also the amount for the incentive of the Super Mario 64 run. The only difference is that the BDSP Any% run takes like 20 minutes and most of the time there's not even a character on screen because you're walking in the void. While the Super Mario 64 run is an impressive feat of movement that takes about 1 hour and 40 minutes. That does not seem equal. And thus I feel that GDQ in its everlasting record attempts are getting a bit too greedy with what they ask for. And it is well known that GDQ is not a perfect organization. If you are into speedrunning, some of your favorite speedrunners might never be on GDQ because they completely disagree with the organization. And this is where you and I can have a friendly discussion together. Because where do we draw the line? Is everything they do alright because it's for charity? Or do we have to consider something like a customer well-being, where people are made to pay $300,000 for a Pokemon run that's 20 minutes worth of time? I wonder. And I seriously don't know the answer to this question, even for myself. I'm having such a hard time accepting that all these quote-unquote scummy things are going on, while also thinking, hey, it's for charity, so who cares? Going forward from here, I at least hope that GDQ realizes that not every single marathon has to be a record attempt. Raising money for charity is dope, but raising money for charity while also making good choices is way doper. But yeah, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing your replies in the comments. Where do you draw the line and what do you think of what's going on with GDQ right now? Leave a like, leave a comment, please consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Laters.